I'm Tim, the Brand Weaver, and this is Branding for Breweries, the podcast that helps you grow your brewery, build a better brand, and connect with more drinkers. Each week, I'm joined by the brightest minds in the beer world, sharing practical tips to help your brewery stand out and sell more beer. Let's get stuck in. What up, 24-hour party people? 'Tis I, Tim the Brand Weaver, and as always, you are listening to Branding for Breweries, the show that brings you the brightest minds from around the globe to help your brewery thrive and survive. And today is an exception because there's no other guest in here. It is just little old me. Yes, it's Tim. But I am so excited because I want to seize this opportunity, seize the day to share with you something that I have been working on for a whole year. And if you're joining the live chat, you can drop your comments and answer, comments, questions in here, and I'll try and go through it as we work on this. But the launch is Branding for Breweries, my new book. Okay, this is Branding for Breweries, the essential playbook to stand out, sell more beer, and build a brewery that people love. It is something that I have been working on for the year, and it's now this guide, this workbook that you can go from beginning to end and develop a brand strategy for your own brewery. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. It's shameless self-promotion at the end of the day, but it is here to serve and help you. And it's all off the back of the mission of the Brand Weaver and the Branding for Breweries kind of approach. And I think this is where I need to start talking to you today. And this is, of course, why. Why do a book, Tim? Surely the podcast, the social media content, the working with clients is enough for you. Well, no, because the book to me was a logical extension. The idea of going, well, I know not everyone in the brewery world is available to work with. I can't work with everyone. I wish I could. I wish I could split myself into a multi-million bunch of people and get out there and support each and every brewery individually. But the book, on the other hand, that is something that everyone can get their hands on. So I've taken my process and I put it in step by step into this book. And this book is designed to be written in. It can be folded up. It's just the right size to go into a back pocket at the end of the day. It's bendy. It's not the fancy hardback version. It's not an audiobook version because I want you to scribble in it. I want you to open it up. I want you to go through the exercises, read the questions and write notes in it. Gather feedback from other people and put your thoughts and feelings into it. Because by the time you finished it, you're going to have a strategy and a way to communicate what your brewery brand is unlike any other out there. Because it's about you. It's about your brewery. It's not about someone else. It's not about someone else's beer. It's about you, your audience, why you're different, and why people should pick your brewery. So ultimately, that is why I have created this book. It's available on Amazon now. You can go to amazon.co.uk, amazon.com, wherever you want to go and search for Branding for Breweries, and it will be there. Best thing, it's only $7.99. It's not up there with the £25, 20 quid branding books because I'm not here to make a profit off of it. I'm here to help you guys and girls and your breweries do the best that you can. At the end of the day, that is the mission, is to even the playing field for independent breweries across the globe and help you stand out. So get onto Amazon and get yourself a nice little early Christmas present because this bad boy will fit in your stocking nicely. This is a printer's proof. I don't even have the real version at the moment. So someone out there may even get the very first copy before I do. In all fairness, it could be my mother because she texted me super early this morning saying she picked up one. God bless mothers. But guys and girls, I'm here to answer your questions about the book if you have any. But before we do that, I am going to take you on a journey through what is actually included in this book, okay? Because it's all well and good me going, yeah, I've written a book, but it's not me going, oh, I'm wonderful. After many years of branding experience, I want to engage and share you with my vast knowledge. It's not that. This is a playbook. This is a guide, step by step, what you need to do, the questions you need to answer to stand out and be unique in the brewery space. So there is 139 pages of this. And what it does, after a brief intro, of course, very important that I did set the scene, tell you where I'm from, what I've done. And if you've listened to any of the podcasts, if you've listened to any chats or interviews that I've done in the past, you know that I've been in branding and marketing for coming up to 20 years now. I know I don't look it, stop it. It's my youthful face. It's also why I wear the cap so it hides the bald head. But I've worked with many brands, big industry brands before specializing in the brewery world, which started a couple of years ago. And I pulled all of that knowledge together, all of my processes into the strategy that helps these breweries stand up and stand out across the UK, across the USA, won awards, driven growth, driven sales, and all that good stuff. So of course, there's a little bit of background. And the other thing I'm going to is really clearly articulating the difference or the misconception, I suppose, that branding is just a logo or what you put on your cans or what you put on your bottles. No, that's design. That's a visual identity. But what branding really is everything that goes through, everything that starts in the beginning of this, that influences what you're doing beyond the label and the clip and all those other pretty things. Thank you, Mark, mate. I appreciate the congratulations, and I'm glad that you're looking forward to reading the book. Please do. Drop a photo of it, even if it's just propping up a table somewhere. It'd be wicked to see where it gets to in the world. So what we go through, my process, my brand strategy process to help breweries stand out, really get more sales and articulate why they're different, why people should bother spending their pennies. So ultimately, we start with how to understand your brewery strengths. So there are exercises in there. There are questions that you need to run through. You can sit down with your team and actually say, right, these are the questions. Let's talk about them. Let's debate. Let's go back and forth about what it is that we are and how unique we are. And these are in the book. The questions are there. The process is there. There's even the space in there for you to then write the answers down, because you're going to need to keep on coming back to it. And again, Michael, my man, thank you so much for ordering a copy. This is phenomenal. God bless anyone who has actually bought this book of my mad random ramblings. You're wicked. So we start with what makes you unique. But that is one element. I then take you through how to really work out what it is that your drinkers want. Because it's all well and good knowing what makes you special from inside, but it's no good if you don't align that with what your drinkers really want and who those drinkers are. So again, I run through 3-4 different exercises to help you get that information, be it conducting a focus group in a tap room, sending out a questionnaire, doing a bit of online research if you don't like the idea of talking to people. All in the book, all the questions, all the exercises are there. And again, the space to write it down. And the third part of that is then the competitor analysis. Now, many of you will be familiar with what your competitors are doing to some extent. You'll keep an eye on them on social. You might go, oh, look at what they're doing now. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Or, oh, I wish we did that. But I don't know how many of you are out there strategically comparing what they're doing versus what you're doing. And again, this is going to help you to identify what you're looking for, the channels to get onto, the information you need to be noting down. And again, it all goes into this book, because right now that's the research phase. You're going to discover everything which is phenomenal, not only about your brewery, but why you're different to your competition, and equally what your drinkers are really looking for when they're stumbling across your brewery. Once you have all of that wonderful information documented in this book, written down, in the space, that's why it's not an audio book, because you've got to write on it. Yeah, you've actually got to do a little bit of grafting. Then you can start to create things like your brand core. So that is going to include your purpose, mission, vision, values. And the book goes down, it breaks down the difference between each of these, why they're important, when you use them, and how to use them. And this isn't an exercise that you're going to make this PDF and it's going to be lost in a drawer forever. Like, this is going to be something that you can come back to and keep on using. It's so important for every brewery to have this purpose, to have this direction beyond making good quality beer or building a sense of community. And you definitely can't just say, well, because we want to make a buck. But why is it? Why are you different? Why should people care? And we can use the information you gathered through this process to identify that, create it, and of course, communicate it. And then we take you through steps to then make what we call brand pillars. And these pillars are so crucial when it comes to creating like social content. No longer do you need to just go, oh, well, we're going to put a picture of a beer up there, or God forbid, we've got a pizza van that rocks up on Friday. You can actually talk about important things to your consumer, to your customer, beyond, yeah, it's just beer, or there's a pizza van, or we've got the singer-songwriter going on. These are things that you can keep on tapping into. They inspire social posts, they inspire long form content, things like blog articles, news posts, even press releases, and great reasons to go on podcasts. It's all there within these brand pillars. And again, the book takes you through it. There's no guesswork. It's kind of It's like maths. One thing adds up to the other. You divide it by that and you get a brand pillar. It's not as simple as that. It's a bit more fun and a bit more enjoyable. But it's all in the book, guys and girls. And I'm not joking. This is the process I run with breweries. But as I say, I can't get to every brewery. So what's the next best thing? Stick it in a book and make it dirt cheap for everyone to get their hands on. So we've created purpose, mission, vision, values. We've got brand pillars. Now it's about targeting specific people, because everyone is worried about their drinker, rightly so. You want the people who puts that beer to their lips to absolutely love your liquid. But the thing that maybe doesn't get considered enough is that there are gatekeepers in between you and your drinker. They might be wholesalers, they might be trade owners, they might be restaurateurs. It depends on where you're trying to get your beer into. But this process is about understanding the wants and needs of those gatekeepers, because they're very, very different to a drinker. And when you know the differences between those gatekeepers and your drinkers, you can use them to your ability, because you can change your messaging when you talk to them. So they go, yep, that ticks a box. I need that in my range. I needed something that does that. That's a little bit different. Fantastic. Now, don't forget, this isn't just coming out of my brain, people. I've been running the podcast for over a year. I've been doing brand strategy for nearly 20 years now. I've worked with numerous breweries. So this is all being pulled into this book to help you get the most out of each and every chapter. So you know exactly who you're talking to and what strings to pull on when it comes to engaging with them. So we develop these personas, drinkers, wholesalers, trade owners, whoever they might be, depending on the goals that you're trying to achieve. We then move into developing a tone of voice. And I've talked about this countless times in various podcasts and online and stuff, but it is so easy just to sound dull and repetitive online, and almost like you take the formal Queen's English when you're writing and it all sounds very professional, but it doesn't really have much personality to it. A tone of voice is there to help you sound different. And it's something that I really, really tried to focus on in this book myself. My big hope is that when you read it, you can almost imagine my voice in your ears. It is there. My nuances, my silly little phrases, they're all in this book. I didn't want to strip it out because it really pushes and promotes the value of a personal brand and of a tone of voice. So developing a tone of voice takes you through exercises in terms of how do you work out what tone of voice you need, what is that tone of voice, and then a few tests that you can put it through to go, yep, this works. I'm down with this. I'm feeling good. So if we take a quick pause beyond that, like in this book, and you probably by this point 50 to 60% of the way through the book, you know what makes you awesome. You know why you're different from your competition. You know what your drinkers are looking for. You have this kind of North Star direction setting through your purpose. So you're going, right, this is how we communicate it. You've got the language to back it up. You've got the tone of voice to use, and you know exactly who you're targeting to achieve your goals and to actually, be it grow or bring more people into the tap room, sell more beer, whatever it is. You know the kind of people that you're talking to and those dials to twist and tweak to really get them on board. Then it's about applying this across customer touch points. So the next part of the book, it guides you through the 5 core customer touch points. And these are awareness, consideration, purchase, service, and loyalty. These are the touch points that every brand has, not just breweries. But what can your brewery do that no one else can? For example, when we talk about raising awareness for your brand, raising awareness for your brewery, obvious things spring to mind. Like, yep, of course, we're going to post on social media. Yeah, we're going to have a website. We might put a poster up. We might have an email newsletter. But those are general things, and they're listed in the book, those general things. But what I want to help you with through the book is go specifically, what can your brewery create and do that no other brewery can? Because it's not real for them. It's not right. It's not, I hate to use the phrase authentic. It's not genuine for that brewery to do it. But by knowing your brand strengths, what makes you different and what you're focusing on, you can create something which is genuinely different at each and every one of these touch points. And the book will guide you through this. It will talk you through the stages. What are the questions you need to answer? What are the things you need to consider? How to test it? How to run it? And this will go, like I say, all the way from awareness right through to loyalty. Like, what can you do from a beer club membership, from a subscription side of things that keep people coming back? Everyone wants loyal drinkers and they're so hard to get. But at least with this process, it's going to really help you to create a massive list of ideas that are so true to your brand in a way that communicates who you are and keep those drinkers coming back time and time again. Now, you might create, I don't know, 50 different ideas off the back of this, which is phenomenal. But I imagine, and when I do it, you're going to have a couple which are like super quick wins. These are things that you could probably put out and get running in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Others you might go, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if we did this, but it's going to cost a bit of money or it's going to take a bit of time. So be it. You don't have to jump on everything, but what you're doing is you're creating this plan, this rollout action list that you can do, right? Well, this year we're going to focus on X, Y, and Z. Next year we're going to step it up a bit. Third year, wow, this is where we're really going to be. And you can keep coming back to this, of course. The book's there. It can be rubbed out. It can be filled in again. You can tweak and evolve and change it. But each and every time it comes from a point of going, this is who we are. This is what we stand for. This is what makes us a little bit different and a little bit unique. And then this is how you're going to communicate it across your touch points. I've done a separate chapter for digital because digital, of course, is massive when it comes to marketing. So, you know, how are you updating your website? What kind of content do you put on your website when it comes to considering your brand and why you're different? And naturally social as well, but not just social review channels. Yeah, you know, TripAdvisor, Untapped, then the normal social stuff. What are you doing with each of those and how are you really communicating your brand messages in a way that's just a bit different and a bit exciting? And the aim here isn't it to go viral or anything stupid like that. It's just to be true to your brand so people know who you are and people can go, oh yeah, that brewery, they're the brewery that inserts phrase here. You know, that you're known for something beyond great beer. What makes you that little bit different? What makes you that little bit stand out in the market? Now, let me just take a quick sip and we'll carry on. Did you hear that slurping? Was that as good for you as it was for me? We've covered the marketing, we covered the touch points, we covered creating what makes you different, understanding it and pulling that all together. Now the book goes into how you reflect that visually. It's at this point that we start looking at logos and clips and can, bottle labels, whatever it might be, because I genuinely believe this is the right point for it. Because it's only now that you go, well, we know exactly what your drinkers are looking for and, you know, the other brands that they use, and you know what you want to communicate. At this point, though, you haven't worked out how you communicate that in a visual way beyond the text, the writing that appears on the clip, label, bottle, wherever it is. How do you then convert that into visual stuff? And I will guide you through that in this book. It talks about, okay, if you're this kind of personality, this kind of visual would reflect that, or consider X, Y, and Z. It's all there to inspire you and guide you along your way. So if you are looking at tweaking your clips and your covers and whatever it might be, or indeed creating a new range, at least it's going to be brand aligned now because you've done the work. It all feels consistent. It gives you this platform to build from. And this is now bringing us to the close of the book, the final few things that are in there. But the important thing is this isn't like a one-stop shop and that's it. You're done. The final few chapters talk about how you cement it in. Because it's all well and good going, yes, we're this brand, this is what makes us different, this is what makes us unique. We've written it all in the book and then throwing the book away forever. There's tried and tested ways of actually making sure you keep coming back to it. You go, are we communicating our brand values in the tap room, online, through the social channels? Are the salespeople, when they hit the ground and they're knocking on doors, using the correct brand language? So there's techniques in here that you can, you know, kind of measure that, double check and make sure these are really instilled in all the team members. It becomes a crucial central part of your brewery culture, and keep rolling that out because it's only through repetition that it's really going to stick with people. But once it's in there, once it becomes part of your daily routine, weekly routine, or whatever it is, it really sticks and it really starts to communicate who you are in a way that people go, oh, yeah, those guys, I love them because they do this, or they're known for that, or this is what makes them special. I've even put in after this a bonus chapter. Now remember, team, I will be answering any questions that you have about the book, so feel free to put them in the comments and I will get to them at the end. But the bonus chapter expands on the difference between a business brand and a personal brand. Now, of course, I am a massive advocate, a big champion for personal brands because of what I do with the Brand Weaver, of who I am, and getting my face out there, getting in front of as many people as possible, sharing my thoughts, feelings, opinions, resources, everything. But it is very different to having a business brand in some cases, especially when it comes to having a brewery. You've got your brewery brand, but then as a head brewer or head of sales or owner, you might have your own thoughts, feelings, and opinions that are maybe a little bit different to the main brand, but they can complement each other. They can work, they can boost each other and work in tandem. But this final chapter goes through the nuances, the differences between a business brand and a personal brand, and what you need to do when considering creating a personal brand that is going to complement your brewery brand. Too many B's in those last few sentences there. That's a lot of alliteration for one person. But hey ho, that's the bonus chapter for you, ladies and gents. All in the book, all available from Amazon right now, $7.99. I'm not here to make a profit from you. I'm not here to run you over the coals and try and get 25 quid out of you. So I'm stealing like 20 odd quid and they just pay £5 for the printing. It's $7.99. It's the cost. It's probably cheaper than several pints in London at the moment. Definitely cheaper than 2 cups of coffee at your local coffee shop, I suppose. But it's as cheap as I could really make it, ultimately, guys and girls, because it's there to help you. So there you have it. Branding for breweries, the essential playbook to stand out, sell more beer, and build a brewery brand that people love. Available now on Amazon across the globe, by the way, not just in the UK. Those are my friends in America, in Canada. I believe I also have listeners in Africa, Thailand. You can get your hands on this. It's written in English. Sorry, I don't know any other language. And to be fair, I'm pretty terrible at speaking English anyway. So I wouldn't even want to dare to write it in a different language. But it's there, should you want to get your hands on it. Now, here's the exciting thing, guys and girls. I hinted on LinkedIn earlier on this week that not only would I be pushing and promoting the book, but I would be sharing some really awesome special news for the very first time on this special edition of Branding for Breweries. So I'm going to do that now. Are you listening closely? Well, if you're familiar with the Brand Weaver, which is my agency, it's what I go by, it's me. It's my knowledge, it's my experience, 20 years worth of knowledge pulled together to deliver the very best that I can for independent breweries. But I know that I cannot do this on my own. And that is why I am so excited to share with you that I'm expanding. The Brand Weaver is becoming the Brand Weaver Collective. And this is not just bringing in random people who know a bit of marketing, a bit of sales, a bit of design. I have found some phenomenal industry specialists who are going to be helping me to deliver more incredible work, help more breweries to achieve their goals and stand out than any other agency in this niche. So let me just guide you. I'm going to share a screen. This is exciting. For those people who are actually watching this, I'm going to share this screen. I'm going to talk to you about who is joining me on this wonderful journey. You're probably going to know a few of them, which is really exciting as well. Here we go. For those of you listening in, this is the Brand Weaver Collective, and we are unapologetically passionate about beer. This is a specialist agency just focusing on helping breweries to tell their story, stand out, and grow. And why is it special? Why is it important? Because I've said it's about evening the playing field for indie breweries. It's not fair that only the massive corporates get all these big budget things that they can throw at their branding and marketing anymore. I want to pull together the very best in the brewery world to help your brewery thrive and survive. So who are we? Who have I got to join me on this journey? Let's take a look, shall we? It is, of course, myself. I am leading the ship, but then I have 3 phenomenally talented people who are coming with me on this journey. The first one is the incredible Harry Kelly. Now, Harry is the ex-head of marketing for Salt and Osset. She's been with the team, or she was with the team for a huge amount of time. She helped with the rat side of things when that first kicked off. She's worked with Northern Monk, with Brew Gooder, and so many awesome brands that she is going to be supporting me on creating phenomenal strategies for breweries who want to really thrive, survive, and do something different with their branding than more just be okay. The next incredibly talented team member that is coming on board is the gentleman known as Matty McMullen. Now, Matty, you might not know his face, but you will know his work. He is definitely my favorite industry designer out there right now. And he is well known for the work that he's done with Pillars. He's worked with Two Flints, as well as loads of other incredible breweries across the globe. And Matty joins me to create some phenomenal design work, not just clips, not just cans, but packaging every touch point to be considered from this point onwards. And then finally, the collective is wrapped with the wonderful Jack Coomer. Now, you might not know Jack by name, but you will know his work. He is the guy in the chair when it comes to keeping the story alive, getting that marketing out there, turning the wheels, making sure that everyone is aware of what your brewery is doing. He's worked with London Brew Company, he's worked with Murphy and Sons. He even helps Luca Lorenzini with his podcast as well. And what Jack doesn't know about keeping the wheels turning, keeping that message going is not worth knowing. So as of today, it's not just the Brand Weaver, it's the Brand Weaver Collective. And we are here to help every brewery that we can stand out, sell more, grow, do whatever they need. But remember, this is not any normal agency. It's built for beer, specifically niching into the indie beer world. It's a collaboration. This is not about me going, right, I'm going to tell so-and-so what to do, and then they're going to do it for you. You're going to work directly with these people to deliver incredible things and tell your story in a way that you haven't been able to before. It's affordable. I know what big agencies charge, and there is no way I'm going to run you over the coals to charge that kind of money. You're going to get some phenomenal talent, some phenomenal skills, not be fobbed off to a junior designer or a junior marketing intern, and really get the benefit for something which is a lot cheaper and far more competitive than what you might pay in other places. And of course, we've got these three packages: strategy, design, and marketing. That is there for each and every one of you to pick. Do I want to use one? Do I want to use all three? It's up to you. But importantly, this is going to get real results, people. Not only the stuff that I've done, but the things that the team have done across our clients has been phenomenal. But if you want to know more, if you're interested in this, just let me know. I can send you over the website link. I can send you over a document which has it all in, or indeed I can talk to you about it. But this is so exciting for me. Not only am I getting the book out there, but the Brand Weaver is growing. We are now the Brand Weaver Collective, and we are unapologetically passionate about beer because we want you to thrive. We want you to do more than survive. We want you to do incredible things because each and every brewery is phenomenal. You just need the help to get there. So there you have it, ladies and gents, and anyone else who might be tuning in right now. That was the little secret that I wanted to give away for you first. So we're going to move into some questions now, and thank you for those of you who have been sharing them in the feeds. I appreciate we're across Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn right now, so I've been doing my best to keep my eyes on things and various screens, hence my eyes are darting around the screen. But there are a few things, so I'm going to get stuck in. Right, what have we got? Why did you decide to turn your podcast into a book? Okay, very good question. And I think it's important to understand that I'm not turning the podcast into the book, right? I have been in branding, marketing, and strategy for 20 years now, outside the brewery world and in the brewery world. So I've been doing that with a load of breweries. I then, as an extension of the mission to even the playing field for independent breweries, to help educate, share information as free as possible, free a lot of the times, very, very cheap the rest of the time, created the podcast to bring more industry specialists in so you can hear from them and learn from them. So it wasn't just me waxing lyrical. And then as an extension beyond that, the book is a logical thing. So taking everything I've learned from this 20 years, taking all the good stuff from the podcast guests and sticking it into this book to really help you out there. Thank you very much, Darren. I appreciate the good luck wishes there. And I do hope people take me up on the help and the offer. So I hope that helps. It's not the podcast being turned into a book. It's the knowledge, it's the process, it's the strategies. This is a playbook, blow by blow, question to answer, to really create a brand strategy and pull it all together for your brewery. Next one. What surprised you most whilst writing the book? What surprised me the most is that I could actually write a book. I think I put it on the post when I promoted this morning that my teachers told me I couldn't spell for toffee, but God bless them. Here we are. It's a book. Caveat, there's probably a couple of typos in the book. That's human, okay? Don't come for me. I'm human. I'm sorry. If there is a typo, bravo. Circle it. Let me know. It'd be wicked to see how many I've got in there. But no, what surprised me, I suppose, well, it is that when I sat down, it was easier to write than I thought it would be, to be honest. It seems like a daunting task when you write a book, but I decided to do this at the beginning of this year. So it's taken me almost a year to pull this book together. But when I thought about it, I actually had 80% of the content in my mind already, because it's my process. It's what I do day in, day out with a lot of these breweries and different brands. So that was always there. It was then just the other little bits around the edges, my story, the extra bonus bits that I wanted to throw in there, how to make it usable in a guide or playbook fashion. But that all started with me writing notes on my phone as I walked the dog around the field. And then I started to flesh it out. And so that was calendarizing it. I live and die by my calendar. So what I ended up doing was going, right, I'm going to give 15, 20 minutes each day just to chip away at it, put a couple more pages together or whatever it might be. And for the most part, that worked really well. Of course, sometimes life gets busy. I had to miss a few days, or I was doing kickoffs or whatever it is. But for the most part, it was there. And because it was in the calendar, it happened. And to be fair, like, the massive godsend was dictation. Like, if I had to sit here just with my fingers flying around the keyboard, I think it probably would have taken me 3 years longer. But the fact that I had my phone and I could dictate what I wanted to say sped up the process entirely, because it just slammed all the words onto the screen for me as I was talking. But the other huge benefit is it kept my tone of voice. Like I mentioned earlier on in the show, I want you to be able to read this and go, yep, that's Tim. I can hear him talking. If I've done that, I've done my job. And that dictation tool, I think, has really helped me to do that in a way that's true and genuine, and it sounds and feels like me. And something I'd encourage a lot of breweries to do when they're creating content is actually dictate it instead of typing it. It's naturally going to capture your isms and nuances in your language. So yeah, I got off topic a little bit there, but what surprised me, I could do it. I did it in a year, but my goodness, it feels phenomenal to know it's out there now. What's something that okay, I think I've talked about this already, but I had a question saying, like, what's one thing that people get confused between, like, what do I wish people understood more about branding or brewery branding? And as I mentioned earlier on in the show, a lot of it is because people think branding is a visual thing. It's an identity. It's the logo. It's the can. It's the label. It's the visuals on a website. It's the photography. That is an element of branding. And I hope that's what this book helps people to understand more, is the fact that there's so much more that goes into the background of creating a good brand, the messaging, the positioning, knowing who you're talking to, and how to communicate all of that. And then the visuals build up on the outside of that. So branding is not just the logo, it's not just the design, it's a part of it, but there's so much more, and that's what the book takes you through. If a brewery owner could only take one thing from the book, what would it be? I mean, it's all pretty helpful, to be honest with you. What's the one thing? If you only had time to take one bit out of the book, I think it's going to be the chapter on understanding your audience and the questions and the research you need to do. It's completely understandable that a lot of breweries are what I call stuck inside the jar. So there's this phrase that it's hard to read the label when you're stuck inside the jar, but you're so passionate, you're so deeply involved in your brand, but sometimes you don't know what the perception is from outside of the brewery walls. So being able to step outside, talk to people, and understand realistically why they're picking your brand, your brewery over another one, can be so illuminating in a way of going, oh, I didn't think that was that important, but turns out to my drinkers, it really is. So if you had to, go for that one. But equally, they're quite short chapters and they're all quite valuable. So I'd just suggest you work through it bit by bit. I've done it in the order that you should work through it as well. But you might have gaps in your strategy and you might just zero in on a few of those. So go for it, make it work. Will it cost me a huge amount of money once I bought the book? Fair point. Well, the book, like I said, is $7.99, right? If you can't afford $7.99, then continue to listen to the podcast, sign up for my email newsletter, follow me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, where I'll continue to put the free stuff out. But if you have paid the $7.99, more than money, it's an investment in time, right? And this is the important thing. You still got to do thinking, you still got to do research, you still got to write it down, you still got to work it out. And I can't give you time in the book. I can just give you the process and the direction and the questions to answer. So more than financial investment, it's the time investment that I think you need to put into it. Then after that, rolling it out, I mean, I wouldn't say it's going to cost you any more money than you are doing right now, because you're probably paying for labels to be designed. You're paying for someone to create social content, or someone's making social content for you. This is just going to give them more direction. Same thing for updating the website. You're just updating stuff. Or if you're a new brewer and you're running through the process, then these are costs that you're going to have to go through anyway as you get set up as a brewery. So you're just getting ahead and you know exactly what you need to do, and you've got brand aligned direction with it before going too far. But I hope that helps. Cool. I think I managed to go through most of the questions. If I missed one, I'm very sorry. I'll try and come back to you directly through a DM or email or whatever you want. But there you have it, guys and girls. I have been able to chat unaided without anyone else in the room for 35 minutes now with one slurp of water. So well done me. But thank you for anyone who's dialed in, anyone who's been listening today. Equally, to those of you listening to this on the podcast, I appreciate it's a different structure. It's a different format to what you're normally used to. But I do hope it's helped give a little bit more information around the book. So as I mentioned, Branding for Breweries, the essential playbook to stand out, sell more beer, and build a brewery brand that people love is now available across the globe on Amazon. It's $7.99. I had a look today. If you buy it now, it arrives by Wednesday. So what's that, like 48 hours, and it's printed and it's on your doorstep. It's a wicked little Christmas gift for breweries. Even if you're more interested in just marketing and branding in general, there are elements that you can take from the book and apply to your own brand. But of course, it is targeted at my brewery friends and fellow colleagues. So enjoy it, get involved. Equally, if you want to know more about the Brand Weaver Collective, I'm going to be dropping a lot of information about that over the next few months. But until then, my friends, thank you as always. Normal service will resume next week when I bring on my next guest. But until then, you're amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the book. Rock on.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of Branding for Breweries. If you got something great from it, hit follow, like, and subscribe on your favorite streaming app. Or even better, leave a review, share it with your brewery pals, or get in touch, because I want to chat to you. Rock on!